Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining our SimulCAST20. We have some exciting new varieties for the 2021 season, and we have a great team of presenters lined up for this afternoon to present these new products to you. So if all of you could just imagine yourselves walking down this path that you see on the screen right now on the Central Coast in California. If you just take the ride up Highway 101, and those of you that have been there before can picture yourself walking down on a breezy afternoon with the sun shining, with the cool waves overhead, as you have arrived at Santa Paula to see the new varieties from the breeding companies of Ball. So here today, we're going to present from Ball Floor Plant, Selecta, Pan American Seed, Darwin Perennials, the Ball Ingenuity, Keeft Seed, so many new varieties, so much to see. So let's get into a little bit of housekeeping before we get started. So we are going to record the video today. So the whole thing will be captured on video and accessible afterwards. We can't hear you, so we are encouraging you to use the Q&A function because we did put the mute on entry. So this way we have a nice quiet background where you can hear the presenters going through the slides and the products one by one. So please use the Q&A function. This is a great way for us to get your questions answered as we go through each of the presentations. So I really encourage you to use that function. If you have difficulties with the Zoom, there's a contact on the screen right now with Katie Rotella. She'll be glad to help you out with that. And we do encourage you to close other applications on your computer that might be tying up bandwidth that could slow the connectivity with the Zoom software. So we're going to run for about 2 hours here. And strap in, let's get started with our 2021 new introductions. And I introduce first Lisa Lacey from Pan American Seed.
Right. Thank you, Jim, and welcome to Pan American Seed Cast 2020. I am pleased to be able to introduce new products in the Beacon program. And as we get a first look at the Cast 2020 Beacon display, as you take a stroll through it, I'm going to give you a refresher on what high resistance means. So Beacon impatiens have high resistance to the current and prevalent populations of Plasmoptera abducens, and this is the cause of impatiens towny mildew. Now, high resistance is not immunity. So what this means is you may see a little bit of yellow foliage, you may see a little bit of sporulation, but the plants upsize or they kick that leaf off. And that's the function by which the plants exhibit the high resistance. And this leads to the plants growing and thriving and living through a typical growing season. So you've taken the stroll, you've had the refresher. So what's happening in Beacon this year? So we're really pleased, first of all, to introduce a new color in Beacon. We're introducing the rose, which is a top 5 selling color. And let me give you a little bit of the details about Beacon Rose. If you were in California right now, you'd be looking at this inoculated trial demo. This is my colleague Chris holding Beacon Bright Red. We also have the susceptible super alphins in there, and we also have Amara XDR in there as a demonstration comparison. When we have an inoculated trial, and I'm showing you images from a spring 2019 greenhouse trial here from Elburn, Illinois, and we inoculate these plants at a very young stage. And so these plants are 4 weeks after inoculation. And on the left, you'll see Beacon Rose is growing, it's thriving. The susceptible super alphin were all dead, so I didn't need to show you a picture of that. And on the right is Amara XDR. It's growing, but certainly looks to be struggling. So on the left, take a look at Beacon Rose. It's got healthy green, and it is continuing to thrive. The next thing will be about the phenotype. What are the characteristics that Beacon Rose offers? So first, from a timing standpoint, Beacon Rose, it falls right in the middle of the Beacon series. It's similar to the violet shades. It'll time a couple of days earlier than Super Elfin Rose, and about 3 or 4 days later than the Amara XD Rose. I really want to have you take a look at that basket on the left, because I think that's a beautiful classic example of what the Beacons, and particularly Beacon Rose, does. You can see the nice shape, the structure, the flowers are sitting right up there on top, showing very well. And I call it the classic Pan American impatiens look, and that's a beautiful basket, and that's what Beacon will do for you and what Beacon Rose will do for your production. Let's take a stroll into the garden, and this particular garden is Costa, week 6, just a few weeks ago. And in the foreground, you'll see Beacon Rose, and Beacon Rose, like all of its other Beacon partners, have really great garden performance, well branched, very full plants, and a lot of flower color. So right behind Beacon Rose is violet shades, then you got orange, bright red, and white in the back. So they all have the power to perform, and Beacon Rose definitely has the power to perform as well. So what are some of the differences between some of the varieties of Super Elfin and the Beacon Rose? So here you see Beacon Rose on the right, and we talked about Beacon Rose having a little bit more of a robust plant structure, and you can see that here. The plant's a little bit larger size than Super Elfin Rose, and that's how the series is bred to be a little bit larger. But with that, you still see really great branching, and you can see good control. So it's manageable for you even with a little bit larger plant structure. If we were to take a look at the color differences between Beacon and Super Elfin, Beacon Rose is a more rich, a little bit more intense color. I think it really is probably a little bit more true rose color compared to Super Elfin Rose. Also take a look at the flower shape and the flower size. It's really, again, a very classic looking impatiens. Compared to Amara XDR, Beacon Rose is a little bit more of a controlled plant structure, still has vigor, but yet well branched, nicely controlled. And here you can see the color differences between the two. Again, I feel Beacon Rose fits into that classic rose color category. So, new rose. And yes, there are more colors coming, but I'm not going to tell you what those are. You're going to have to stay tuned and come back next year to see what's coming in Beacon and colors for the future. So Beacon Rose is the first new thing in the Beacon series. Second of all, we're going to be offering Beacon in new seed form. This is going to be coated seed form. This is a thin coat, bright yellow, and it's really to help handling. Basically, it facilitates easier sowing, flowing through the seeding machines, particularly the Blackmores, and it improves visibility in the trays. So it's really about handling, making it easier to sow your beacons. And the Beacon coated seed will be available beginning October 1st of this year. So you got a new color and a new product form. And I'm going to wrap it up with some performance information from the marketplace. And we're going to start in Texas. And this is a high-end landscape in Texas, and they always want to have impatiens in there. But unfortunately, the impatiens die from impatiens downy mildew. And that's what you're seeing in the image on the left and in the center. Those were Super Elfins that are in the process of dying. This photo was taken the 1st of June. The plant material was pulled out. 2 days later, beacons were put in. There's a couple of things to know about this. When they removed the Super Elfins, they didn't do anything to the beds. And when the beacons went in, the beacons did not have a preventative IDM fungicide. And what happened? They grew and they lived and they thrived. And the picture on the bottom right shows this bed in the end of July. And we also had reports that they continued to perform well throughout the rest of the season. We're going to stay in Texas and talk about this grower who converted all of their spring impatiens to Beacon. They did this because they wanted to bring the solution to the marketplace where their retail customer and their consumers could have success with the impatiens. And they found Beacon to be really easy to produce in baskets, as you can see the image on the right, but they're also finding to be very suitable in their 4-inch and in their 6-pack program. So quite versatile and fulfilling all the needs. And they're pleased to bring that back so their customers have success. We're going to head up to the East Coast. And this is a grower who is both a finisher and a plug young plant producer. They find Beacon ticks all the boxes when it comes to seed performance, seed quality, uniformity in the plug tray, color uniformity, and garden durability. And so they feel that Beacon really meets all their expectations, and they're going in the Beacon this year. The last stop we're going to take in this tour is Florida, and many of you probably know or have read that Florida really struggled with IDM. It was a perfect environment for the disease. This is a very high scale resort in a very high scale southern Florida city, and these beacons went in October. Impatiens in Florida are a fall product, so October through early spring, about now, is the key season, and it's also the key season for impatiens downy mildew. So these went in October, planted on all these trees, and these images came to us just in the last 3 or 4 weeks, and it shows that Beacon continues to perform and thrive throughout the season under the pressure of IDM. So in a brief summary, what we've got this year for Beacon certainly is the information from the marketplace. We have more information we can share with you. We can put questions in the Q&A or reach out to us at beacon@patients.com, panamericanseed.com. We have a new seed form for easier handling, and we have that brand new color. So with that, I am going to pass the presentation off to my colleague Sonali, who's going to share with you new wave colors, an improvement in marigolds, and some really cool foliage celosia.
Thank you, Lisa. I'm going to start out with wave petunias. We have two brand new introductions in the wave series, with the first one being Easy Wave Rose Fusion. This is a really nice, rich color with a vein pattern that's darker, and it's a bicolor or a novelty type. Novelty types have been really popular both with consumers as well as retailers. And this Easy Wave Rose Fusion joins the other existing bicolor types, plum vein as well as burgundy star. Rose Fusion has a moderate habit. It matches really well with Pink Passion, which is a well-known variety in the marketplace. Here is a grow out for cast, and you can see Rose Fusion in packs, in 6-inch containers, hanging baskets, and large patio containers. You can see how versatile and nice this habit is for various sized container formats. Another key feature of Rose Fusion is that it is extremely early to flower. It flowers at a day length of 9 hours or longer, and therefore for all practical purposes, it can be considered day neutral. It's also the earliest variety in the entire wave assortment. For your ease of use, we have put together this chart that shows day length requirements of all the Easy Wave, Shock Wave, Original Wave, and Tidal Wave varieties. It shows that Easy Wave Rose Fusion flowers at 9 hours, and which is the quickest to flower, and then Wave Carmine Velour at 13 hours would be the latest to flower. Please use this chart to choose varieties that are early season for your early ship weeks. This is available at panamseed.com. Next up is new Shockwave variety, Purple Tie-Dye. And we had a really cute contest on social media, and our consumers helped us name this variety as Purple Tie-Dye. Because just like its name, or just like tie-dye, it is very playful, fun, and has a cool bicolor flower with purple, blue, or white coloration within the same plant. Here is a grow out for cast, and you can see how plants have bicolored flowers on the same plant. And just like other varieties that are bicolor types on the market, the flower coloration depends on numerous factors, such as PGRs, temperatures, and light intensity. In this crop culture grow out, we are showing the effect of PGRs on flower color formation. The picture on the left shows plants that were treated with diminozide, also known as B9, at the time of bud formation stage. And if applied when the buds are forming, plants tend to form more white flowers. However, if B9 is applied early on in production, but from the start of bud formation all the way until finish, if other PGRs are used, on the example that's on your screen, we have shown a demo with bonsai wrench, you can get more blue flowers in the population. So to make sure that you have a balance of both colors, make sure to use B9 early on before the bud set. Temperature also influences flower coloration in purple tie-dye. When grown under coastal California conditions with warm days and cool nights, plants have more white flowers. When grown under conditions like South Florida with hot days and sweltering nights, plants have more blue flowers. So to get a better balance of white and blue, grow plants under moderate conditions, such as daytime temperatures into the mid-70s and night temperatures into upper 60s. To wrap it up, we have two really nice novelty type bicolor introductions. Both have been very popular with consumers as well as with retailers. The first one is Easy Wave Rose Fusion, and the second one is Shockwave Purple Tie-Dye. I'm going to switch gears a little bit and talk about our brand new marigold series, Marvel 2. Marvel 2 is an African marigold, and it replaces the existing Marvel series. This is a tall type marigold. It's about 20% taller than our dwarf series, Taishan. So Taishan is good for packs, and Marvel 2 would be suitable for 6-inch, gallons, or larger containers. These types of larger containers have recently been very popular with the Day of the Dead programs. Marvel 2 also performs really well in the landscape and would be applicable where growers are looking for more taller backdrop type plants. Marvel 2 series consists of 3 colors, orange, gold, and yellow, and a formula mix of all 3. African marigolds are facultative short day plants, meaning they flower faster under short days compared to long days. And the old Marvel series were extremely late to flower under long days. It took 3 weeks longer under long days than short days. However, Marvel 2 has been bred to flower a whole week faster under long days. In the picture that's on your screen, this is the trial grow out forecast this year. Plants on the left are the old Marvel series, and plants on the right is Marvel 2. And you can see that when grown under long days, Marvel 2 flowers a whole week faster. Marvel 2 also has a tighter flower structure, and therefore the flowers don't split open under very hot and humid conditions, which was a problem with the old Marvel as well as competition Inca 2. In summary, Marvel 2 replaces Marvel series of African marigolds. It has a tighter flower structure, and it flowers a whole week faster under long days compared to old Marvel. Fantastic Foliage is back. Fantastic Foliage is an umbrella which captures all of our seed varieties that have really beautiful colors and textures in their foliage. We had grown out our entire Fantastic Foliage collection for you for CAST this year. You can see it in the picture being on the screen. And since you missed the actual grow out, we'll make a brochure and send it your way this summer. So be on the lookout for that. A really nice introduction into our Fantastic Foliage is Soul Collection of Foliage Celosia. These are foliage celosias, so they make great additions to your foliage programs. They do extremely well in mixed combination containers, particularly in your summer combos, because being celosias, they're very heat tolerant. These varieties also have very good landscape performance. We are introducing Soul Collection with 2 varieties. The first one on the left on your screen is Gecko Green. Gecko Green won the Flora Select Gold Medal Award this year, which is a European equivalent of AAS. The variety on the right is Lizard Leaf. Both these varieties are grown for their foliage, so if you want their flowering to be delayed, grow them under long days, because just like African marigolds, they are facultative short day plants and will flower fast under short days. Of course, the key feature of these is their beautiful purple foliage. Everybody asks us how to make their plants look bright purple, and the most important attribute is highlight. Grow them under highlight. You have a demo on your screen showing plants grown under low, medium, and highlight, designated by DLI of 7, 12, or 15 moles. When grown under highlight, the foliage of Soul Collection is bright purple. In summary, we have a brand new edition of Soul Collection in our Fantastic Foliage with Gecko Green and Lizard Leaf. Both these varieties are suitable for your foliage programs. If you want them to flower late, grow them under long days. And for bright purple foliage, make sure to grow them under high light intensity, at least for the last 2 weeks of production. With that, I'm going to hand over the presentation to my colleagues who will talk about kitchen minis. Take it away, Josh.
Thank you, Sonali. Hi, everyone. Hope everyone is doing well. I, along with Chenny Filios, will be presenting our Kitchen Mini program with you this afternoon. And before we get started on specifics of the Kitchen Minis, I wanted to go over some of the consumer trends that our colleague Seth Reed, who is one of the co-founders of Grow It, provided for us. Grow It is an online community of plant enthusiasts, and he was able to extract some information that is directly related to the kitchen minis. So one of the trends that he has shown and is seeing is a trend for the desire for indoor plants. I don't think that's really a surprise to any of us. That trend is continuing, it's growing, whether it's houseplants or other types of plants. And speaking of other types of plants, when you look at what consumers are wanting to grow indoors, edibles is a very popular product that they're looking to grow. And then lastly, consumers are looking for something different and unique. Of course, the old standards are great as far as tomatoes and peppers go, but people now are really looking for new and different products. And all of this information is very useful, I think, when we're talking about kitchen minis. So what is the Kitchen Mini program? It is a collection of peppers and tomatoes currently that are meant to be grown both by a grower and by a consumer in a small container. And when I'm saying a small container, I'm typically referring to 8 inches or smaller, depending on the variety. What we're doing with the Kitchen Mini program is we're telling consumers that if you don't have a garden, if you don't even have a patio to grow a container variety on, you'll have an opportunity to grow your own food. These are plants that are meant to be grown on windowsills. They're meant to be grown on a patio table rather than the actual deck itself. No garden, no problem. So I kind of wanted to go over a few of the differences between kitchen minis and a standard patio type variety. So in this slide here, you have Fresh Bites Red on the left-hand side, which is part of the Kitchen Mini program. And you have Snackabelle Red on the right-hand side, which is just a standard container pepper variety. First, as I mentioned in the last slide, the pot size on the Fresh Bites Red or the Kitchen Minis is smaller. Whereas, typically standard container varieties could be anywhere from 10 to 14 inches, oftentimes with a trellis. Another difference is that on the Kitchen Minis, not only should there be fruit on the plant at the time that they're being sold, but ideally there should be color on a few of these fruit as well. And then something else that we've been fielding a lot of questions about is the harvest times on these. With the Kitchen Minis, we're not telling folks that they're going to get season-long harvests off of this. The idea behind it is you take the plant, you bring it home, you grow it for a few weeks, 3 to 5 weeks, depending on how the plant is grown, the condition it was in at the time of sale, etc. You harvest off of it, the plant fizzles out, and then hopefully a consumer would go and buy another one. So that's the type of harvest period that we're talking about when it comes to these Kitchen Minis. A few other things to think about when you are looking at the Kitchen Mini program here is that these should be considered a premium product. If a consumer is going to buy this and take it home and grow it in the same container that they buy it in, you have an opportunity here to add decorative pots. These should certainly be higher priced than a standard 3 or 4 inch tomato or pepper plant that would be found in the bedding plant section. And another thing to consider with these is an opportunity for season extension. Because of the fact that these would potentially be grown by a consumer indoors, these don't just need to be sold in late spring and early summer. They can be sold in the early spring, throughout the summer, in the fall, even in the winter, if there are opportunities to do that at that time of the year as well. And then the last thing that I wanted to talk about is the different market channels that these can be sold into. Obviously, a garden center is a great idea for it. But in the garden center, this doesn't only need to be sold in the bedding plant section with the other vegetables. These make perfect gift ideas. Mind you, I'm partial, but I would love someone to bring me one of these if they were coming over for dinner or something like that as a nice gift product. These also can be sold in grocery store, and not only in the gift plant section, but the produce section. Many grocery stores now have potted herbs in their in the produce section. A consumer will buy it, take it home, use it for a few weeks, and then the plant fizzles out and they go and buy another one. It's a similar story with the kitchen minis. Rather than buying a pint of tomatoes or a bag of peppers, you buy one of these plants and you use those for a few weeks before going and buying more. These also make great edibles for online retail because the plants are small. You don't have to worry with higher shipping prices. And then another channel that I'd like for you to consider also is choosing plants for home grow systems. These grow systems, these indoor small grow systems, are becoming more and more popular. There's lots of different types of them. And it's really important with these systems to choose the right varieties, especially when it comes to a tomato or pepper, because of the space restraints. And these products would make very, very good choices for that as well. So that's just kind of an idea on some of the different ways that these products can be sold. Now I'm going to pass it over to Jenny, and she's going to tell you a little bit more specifics about the varieties.
Thanks, Josh. As he said, Chenny Filios, I'm the product manager of vegetables at Pan Am Seed. And here we have a video of the Kitchen Mini Siam, which is the first tomato that we're introducing in the collection of Kitchen Minis. And you can see it's a really versatile tomato variety that works really well from a 4.5 inch all the way to an 8 inch. In that 8 inch, you could put 1 or 3 plants depending on how large you'd like it to get. On average, the plants are about 7 to 9 inches tall and about 10 to 12 inches wide. So really nice manageable size to be able to ship them to lots of different places like grocery or a garden center. The production on these are about 2 to 3 weeks for the plugs, so really very fast, very similar to a standard tomato. And as Josh mentioned, we do recommend selling Kitchen Mini Tomato Siam with a few ripe fruit on it, and that'll be about 10 weeks from transplant. And we do recommend that you transplant into your final container size, your nice deco pot for the consumer. When your consumer brings them home, we recommend that they put them in a really nice, well-lit area, like the window behind me, or on a really nice summer time when the nights are above about 50 degrees Fahrenheit, you could put it out on a patio. If the consumer doesn't have enough light, we do recommend using a grow lamp or another system to be able to have more light in your home. We also have a really handy chart that you can find on our website. And this will show you all of the varieties we currently have available in the Kitchen Mini collection, including some sweet peppers like Fresh Bites Orange, hot peppers like Taquito, and our new Kitchen Mini Siam. So that's all for Kitchen Minis. And with that, we'll pass it over to our colleague Cor to talk about perennials.
Welcome, good morning, good afternoon. Broadcasting from Holland, my name is Cor de Jong. I'm product manager for perennials based in Holland. Thank you for joining into the perennial part of our breeding through the Keith Seed brand and the Darwin brand. We have a great introduction year this year with key perennial crops that are being launched. First of that is Echinacea Artisan series, separate colors F1 Echinacea, to be presented by Mr. Chris Fifo later on. We have Lobelia Starship with 3 new colors, the Extreme Dasante Blue, and 3 early spring crops, Achillea Early Bird series, Arabis Barranca series, and Aurelia Golden Rush. What you're seeing is our early bird series, Achillea. This is a series of 8 new colors and a mix. The early bird Achillea will be replacing our songbird series. It also removes some issues that growers had growing and offering Achillea. First issue was a fertilization requirement. Southern growers had a risk growing Achillea as this crop required too much cold to get reliable flowering in their warmer climates. With this new series, deliberately bred in Costa Rica by Mr. Rolo Solano and Ms. Krista Kivit, we reduced the cold requirement to induce flowering. Just 5 weeks of average daily temperature of 50 to 55 Fahrenheit after 5 full leaf stage will provide enough gold to get good flowering. Second issue was limited color range. Well, we did something about that. We are launching new and exciting colors that will generate more interest. A red-yellow, a purple-blue, a purple-white, and a blue-yellow. All colors that have not been seen before and will spark new interest in sales in Achillea. The third issue was variable habit and finishing. Early Bird series is a uniform series in habit and timing. You can see that on the left part of this slide. All habits are dense and tight and have short flower stems. It is bred to be timed tightly, only a couple of days between the different colors to finish. Purple yellow is a week later, but the rest finishes closely together. And we have a very short harvest window for each color, allowing bench run production. Another big issue was no scheduling was possible. With all the genetics, it was not possible to schedule for other or longer sales periods. Growers just had to wait till cool winter period was over and then wait for the crop to finish. Now with Early Bird series, because of the low vernalization and relative quick finish, growers and retail can plan this crop to be offered for a longer period in the shops. This can be programmed via different and subsequent transplant dates of the products. Something about positioning. How is our positioning against the competition? Our main competition is Syngenta. They just launched the Kirigami series in 2018, replacing their Origami series. Kirigami has 5 colors, a red, a rose, a blue, a light blue and a yellow. This was also bred in Central America with low vernalization, same as we did in Costa Rica. What we saw from the trials last year, as you can see on the right of this slide, that the main colors, red and blue, are stretchy and tall. Not a very uniform series. But there is also other competition. Benari with Spring Magic series, that's been around for a long time. It's a uniform compact series, but it has a strong vernalization requirement, so not suitable for sudden growers. Another key features are the hanging flowers, not very appealing. And as you can see on the left part of this row, all our varieties are upward facing and very appealing at sales stage. Then positioning within Pan American itself. We are dropping the Songbird series that is positioned for retail quarts and gallons to be replaced by Early Bird series. But we will maintain our Swan series, positioned for landscape and do-it-yourself market. Tall types with strong and attractive bicolors, standard items in many perennial programs. Some key facts on Achillea Early Bird. Long day treatments. When growing in short day winter season, growers need to apply approximately 4 to 5 weeks long days, minimum 13 hours day length, to get stem elongation. You apply this approximately 4 weeks after transplant. Otherwise, plants will flower in and under the foliage. Winter hardiness. Even though this was being bred in Costa Rica, through our winter hardiness testing, we saw that the winter hardiness is the same as other Achillea series. Genetically compact. The Early Bird series is bred to be more compact than Songbird, and it is suitable for indoor growing, both tunnel or gold greenhouse. Juvenility. Please remember, plants need to have a certain age before they can receive cold. This is defined as minimum 5 true leaves before you can apply the cold period. Then the product form, the seed product form is raw seed, same as we have with our Swan series. So summary on Early Bird Achillea, new colors, low cold requirements, a controlled habit, and a tight flowering window. Now on to our Liberia Starship series, bred by Mr. Hans Sasbrink. We have 3 new strong colors in the Starship series. We have a burgundy, we have a scarlet bronze-leafed, and we have a blue. Starship series brings you strongly branched plants with intense bold colors. No pinching required. These are currently in Santa Paula. These are 3-gallon pots in a 12-inch decorative pot. Something about the new varieties. This is our Starship Blue on the left side. It is a strong non-fading blue, which is a good color addition to the Starship series. There's no other blue on the market anymore, since on the right side, that is Fan Blue, it was dropped from the catalog. Fan Blue was late and not very well branching. In the middle you see a burgundy. The burgundy has a deep wine red color, great item to include in your fall combos and to stand out in a mix. Then on the right side, our special scarlet. Starship Scarlet Bronze Leaf gives you that strong contrast between the purple bronze foliage and the vivid scarlet flowers. A popular combination that will stand out in any garden or landscape. Scarlet Bronze Leaf is approximately 7 to 10 days later than other Starship varieties, and it is replacing Vulcan Red. Here are the 5 varieties again. On the right, the purple bronze leaf, Starship Scarlet Bronze Leaf. In the middle, the blue is a little taller. As competition, we only have Benari with Fan series. They now have 2 colors left, a scarlet and a burgundy. Fan Scarlet has an erect and a little branching habit that will not easily fit into larger containers. It has a variable habit you need to grade and sort. It is later, approximately 1 to 2 weeks later. Fan Burgundy is green leaf, okay flower color, but a bit taller than Starship Burgundy. Key info on Lobelia speciosa. Please note we have a forcing and culture schedule for supply from Mother's Day up to Labor Day. Please check our website on perennials and look for our forcing chart. And also please remember, for plug growing, Lobelia speciosa needs to be grown in short day, maximum 10 hours. The product form is a single pellet. You can find all this and more detailed information in our grow facts on our website. Thank you for your attention, and I'll be happy to hand you over to Ms. Crest FIFO, covering our exciting Echinacea program. Thank you very much.
Hey, Cor, thank you very much. Just before we pass it over to Chris, I do have a couple questions on the Q&A. So there was a question going back on the celosia, the gecko, on related to the height on the celosia. If Sonali, if you could just speak just briefly about the height of that celosia.
The gecko celosias are about 10 to 14 inches tall. And this and a lot more information about everything we are presenting is available in the CAST app. Jim, do you want to talk about how to access it?
Yeah, because I had the CAST app is here, and actually you can search for the CAST mobile in the App Store. And that's a really nice feature. In addition to all of the new products and the height, garden height and so forth, there's actually a like feature. It has here with a little thumbs up. So on the Echinacea, on the Achillea right there, I'm just going to hit like, and you can see a little thumbs up.
Good.
And the little chime. See, I like that early bird. That's a really nice, beautiful new product. Nice uniform series. So I'm excited about that one. So you can indicate which ones you like. You can make notes to yourself. It's a very useful feature. And you can also send pictures outbound from this app too. And all the photography that we have for all the pictures is also available on our website. So you can use our photography is your photography. So I did have a question also related to the beacons. The question that came through was on sun and shade. So if, Lisa, if you could just speak to that in certain climates, where the beacon would be applicable in the sun, where impatiens we always know is a shade plant, but the question was in what type of markets might it be applicable in the sun?
Yeah, so if we look about the global markets, so in Northern Europe, United Kingdom, a lot of places in Northern Europe, it's a full sun product. Likewise, in the South in the winter months, so the Florida images that we were showing folks, that's a full sun product there. I think because the humidity levels are higher and the plants can handle that. A lot of us here in Midwest and in California, high, dry, plains, lower humidity, they really do benefit from that partial or the shade. So that's the difference in terms of where sun shade comes in when we're describing impatiens placement in the garden.
Yeah, that's helpful clarification. Thank you. There was a question around POP and marketing materials on the kitchen minis. So Josh, if you could speak to that on related to the kitchen minis.
Sure, thank you. Yes, we will have lots of, sorry, I opened my window shade, so I'm really bright right now. We will have lots of POP, both for carts, tags, that type of stuff that'll be available this summer. And so for more information, all they need to do is get a hold of us.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you very much, Josh. So yeah, from there we'll transition over to Chris Fifo, and we have some great echinaceas in our lineup from both from Darwin plants, from Darwin perennials, from Kieft seed. We have some fantastic echinacea, and here to take us through those is Chris Fifo.
Thank you for that, Jim.
All right, take it away. There you go.
Having difficulty with my video here.
No problem. Yeah, it's coming through nice and clear now. He's coming up with the sombreros right there. They look very nice. They're the Fiesta Orange.
There we go. Sorry for the technical difficulties. This is Chris Fifo coming to you from Carpentersville, Illinois, and welcome to our Echinacea display at CAST20. There are some exciting things happening with Echinacea this year, and so I'm very excited to introduce to you the new Artisan series from Seed, as well as new introductions to the Sombrero series. And more importantly, we're going to discuss how do we use these along with the current Echinaceas that we have on the market with the Powwows and the Cheyenne Spirit. And so first introduce a couple of the new colors of the Sombrero series. We have the new Rosada, a very nice deep rose color, and the new Fiesta Orange. Now we have 14 colors now, and so we're only looking for very unique items to go with the Echinacea. And so Fiesta Orange, we have single and semi-double flowers on the same plants, and so that gives it a unique look. And what I really like about the Sombrero series in general is the bulk and the body of the plants. The number of branches, the number of flower stems they get on them. I haven't seen anything in any other Echinaceas out there. So that's what really makes these stand apart. And there's the new Rosada. It really fills a color gap in the whole Sombrero series that we had. And so yes, 14 colors now in the Sombreros, and we're only looking to add very unique items after this. And so these do have a strong position in the markets. We're looking at premium programs here, 1 gallon to 3 gallons. Good position in the branded market as well. And like I said, these are very easy to schedule and grow first year. They don't require a short day treatment, and this is one of my favorite items for fall programs. We can see a picture I took there on the left, this Sombrero Salsa Red. That was last October. I took that. More than 20 flowers on that same plant. And of course, we got to give a shout out to the Baja Burgundy, the AAS winner last year. And in the center there, just a nice retail display of, I believe that is Granada Gold from another fall program. And so after the Sombreros, like I said, it's getting fairly full now. We'll go into our fall program first. One of my favorites for fall, it is a no-brainer. You take a 72, you plant it week 26. Put in a gallon container, you can, these are best grown outdoors. And so controlled release fertilizer, liquid feed, you can put them on a dripper, you can water with sprinklers, and you don't have to do anything else. They grow themselves. 10 weeks later, this is the kind of display that you have. So it really is a no-brainer for fall programs. And then I'd like to introduce the new Poco series of Sombrero. Poco, as the name implies, is a more compact series. These are going to be 14 to 16 inches tall. And we're going to begin the series with a Poco Yellow. This is absolutely amazing in that it is non-fading. We can see the oldest flower there is starting to get some brown tips on it, but it's still got a really great yellow color on it. And so that is going to be the theme for the Poco series, the compactness and the non-fading. And we also have the Poco Hot Coral. This was Sombrero Hot Coral. It had always been more dwarf than the Sombrero series, so we rolled that into the Pocos as well. And there we can see the comparison of the height difference in there between the Sombrero and the Poco. And so it's going to add a unique look. It's going to be a more compact series. There's going to be plenty more colors to come with that. You can see the neat, tidy display it gives you here in the garden. As I mentioned, yes, non-fading. We kept the Sombrero name with this series because it does have the same bulking and branching and the same culture as the Sombrero series. And so it can be grown the exact same way for fall programs. One thing it's not going to be suitable for is some of the larger containers. This might be nice in, say, a patio bowl or something like that, or a trio in a bowl with the cute size. And I'm very excited to introduce the Artisan collection of Echinacea. Ping Ren is the breeder for these. Been working on it for a long time. We're coming out with a soft orange and the red ombre to begin the series. There's more colors to come. And first, looking at this video here, I'd like to address the purpling you can see on the foliage. This has been a common issue with the powwows, and this is a phosphorus deficiency. And so when the growers begin to see that, I would apply higher rates of phosphorus, maybe a fertilizer like 20-10-20. That's going to stave off any further purpling. And so culture on the Artisans is going to be very similar to the powwows, which we're all accustomed to. Scheduling is also going to be the same. So those are another suitable one for that short day, that black cloth program for fall or for early spring. And here we can see some of the additional colors yet to come. Those are still a little ways off. Excellent, excellent items. Here we can see on the left, this is one of my favorite photos of the soft orange. It's a single plant of the Artisan soft orange in a gallon pot. And so just a really beautiful display there. This breeding has been referred to in the past as straight colors from the Cheyenne Spirits, but it is actually not. It is brand new breeding. And this is a revolutionary new product. This is an F1 hybrid. There's really nothing else comparable out there on the market. And so a lot of excitement surrounding this. Is offered as amplified seed, meaning it's got improved vigor and germination percentage. 85% is our minimum standard, but I've seen a lot of lot numbers that have been 90% plus. And so a lot of excitement surrounding this. Once again, this is going to be more of a premium type of program, kind of up there with the Sombreros. It can still be put into other programs as well. It's all going to depend on what you need. Your Echinacea program as far as what your selections are going to be. If you need the extreme uniformity, it's going to be the Sombreros. If you need a high volume item, you might want to look at the seed items such as Artisans. Seed on the shelf beats the tissue culture in the laboratory, and that's where the Sombreros and the Pocos are coming from. But if you want a full program, a whole range of colors, I would go with Sombreros, possibly supplemented with the Artisans then. You mix the two of them together. Basic programs, powwow and Cheyenne Spirit, they're still going to have a really good place in the market. I don't see those going away by any means. Another question is going to be input requirements, seed versus tissue culture, and then of course our price points. What size containers are these going to go into, or is the price point that we're going to have for an output? And I put together this chart here that's going to show some of the common uses I see all of these Echinaceas being used in. They're all used in branded programs. They're all suitable for 2.5s. Only a handful of them are going to be suitable for those very large containers. Poco is definitely not going to go there, but Artisans can. And so just some easy to use charts on how to use these. And so anybody have any questions after that? I'm open for questions.
Yeah, Chris, just going back a little bit on the Achillea, there was a question on the Achillea related to timing. And of course, still on there, we could kind of circle back to that one. And we're just related to timing of the early bird series, and in particular for the southern part of the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You want to take it, Cor? Go ahead.
Yeah, timing. Yeah, you can. Timing is according to the season. We have some references. For instance, you can do a long cycle transplant in, let's say, early winter. Then you'd have about 16 weeks let's say production time. If you are, let's say, going more toward end of winter, you have about 12 weeks finish time. So that's about, it depends on where you are in the cold period. So it's 12 to 16 weeks on average.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah. So Chris, right here on the CAST app, right there for that Echinacea. There you go. You got it. Very nice on the Echinacea. Yeah, beautiful product
Artisans
there
are
on
going
the,
strong on the voting, I understand. That's good.
on the Artisan series there.
Yes,
Yeah,
like
nice.
I said, there's been a lot of excitement. People have been talking about these for a long time, so I'm very excited to finally see these make it to the market. The seed is available this week for those.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, so from there, let's, Chris, you'll be joined now with the two of your colleagues. So with Leland Turing and Carl Botchke, will be coming online now to talk about the Darwin Perennials new introductions for 2021. So we'll turn it over to Leland from there to kick us off on the new Darwin Perennials variety. So thanks very much, Chris, and I know we'll be hearing from you in just a second.
All right, thanks, Jim, and thank you, Chris. Greetings, everyone. I am broadcasting from sunny Geneva, Illinois. Not nearly as sunny as I expect and would hope that California would be at the moment, but here in the Midwestern part of the United States, we'll take what we can get. So I am a Darwin Perennials Sales and Marketing Manager, and I'm joined today by Carl Botchke, who's our Global Product Development Manager. And then we just heard from Chris, and Chris is going to help us also talk about our new varieties for 2021 from Darwin Perennials. So let's get started. The very first item that we're going to talk about is going to be Armeria Dreameria Dream Clouds. And this is actually an addition to a series that we launched a few years ago called Armeria Dreameria. And there you can see some of the existing colors there in the back of this video that we took at our Santa Paula facility just a week ago. And the question is, why Armeria Dreameria? What's so special about this series? Is it really is a breeding breakthrough in perennials and really changes up what is possible with the Armeria genus. So traditional Armeria will flower very first thing early spring, but then they kind of they stop flowering, and you just get a kind of a green plant throughout the summer, and then maybe again a few flowers later in the season. And Armeria Dreameria will also flower early season, just like traditional Armeria, but we'll actually get flowers all summer long on the Armeria Dreameria series. The characteristics as well, I mean, these are, really large, big flowers on nice sturdy stems on a very nice well-branched base. And there's a total of 5 colors to the Armeria Dreameria series. And, for our growers out there, this is a great item to be able to offer in the early season, in our shoulder season sales, when perhaps there's not as many folks walking around in the garden centers, but we certainly want something to help catch their eye and also maybe survive some of those cooler temperatures first thing in the early spring season. These are great for 2.5 quart, 1 gallon, even certainly for a patio pot. And the real big change for the series from the last couple years is we've actually gotten some really great data back from the University of, Colorado State University, where the Armeria Dreameria series has overwintered there for 2 years. It's also overwintered in Chicago, Illinois, in our gardens here in West Chicago. And these are both solid zone 5 areas of the country. So we're actually going to be changing the zone rating on the Armeria Dreameria, and that certainly opens up some other avenues for our friends in the northern part of North America. In terms of timing for production, if you've got growers, or if you yourself are growing these and you're doing already a perennial dianthus crop, you can match the Armeria Dreameria series right along with that dianthus, and that'll give you that nice early season flowering. So that's the Armeria Dreameria series with the new Armeria Dreameria Dream Clouds. Next up is a new Leucanthemum called Whitecap. And I'm really excited about this variety because, in perennial breeding, we've really come a long ways, and there's things that we can do with perennial breeding that really give us some additional benefits to some of the varieties that have been on the market for a long time. One of those varieties that's been on the market for a long time is called Snowcap. And Snowcap is a nice variety, but in order to get consistent flowering, it usually does need to be overwintered. So this new Leucanthemum Whitecap, we get a full, complete flower coverage by planting it the first year. So we can plant it in the spring and sell it that same spring as well. It's also early to flower as well. So that photo was on the right-hand side there, was taken in Miami in week 10 in really nice, a nice complete flower coverage. The height on this thing is about 14 to 16 inches. So if you're doing snowcap, or you've got growers who are doing Leucanthemum snowcap, whitecap is certainly something to put up right next to it. We're pretty excited about Leucanthemum whitecap. And next up is a new color to our Milirock series of Achillea. This is actually breeding from one of our partners in Europe, Florensis. And the Milirock series is really unique because it's super compact. So we're talking only like 12 to 15 inches up off the ground. And the other reason I really like it is there's no splitting out in the center of blooms that sometimes we see on Achillea. There's also a really nice growth habit to the Milirock series. The flowers sit right on top of the foliage. You don't see sometimes those bare stems that can pop up on Achillea. This is hardy to zone 5. Certainly could put this in a 2.5 quart, 1 gallon. And we're rounding out the series with the yellow. So last year we launched the red and the rose. And now I'm going to pass it back over to Chris Fifo, who is going to walk us through Dianthus Mountain Frost.
Yes, but Leland's going to maintain control of the slides so we don't have any more technical difficulties there. So yes, Dianthus Mountain Frost. I had never talked about Dianthus that much because there's so many of them out there. But I started seeing these at trial gardens around the country, and they've absolutely amazed me. This year we're adding the Ruby Glitter and the Ruby Snow to our collection. That's giving us 9 colors now in the Mountain Frost collection. What has amazed me about these is the landscape performance. That is the sole purpose of the breeding of this collection, is for landscape performance and not just overwintering. These are solid zone 4, and these have also overwintered at our Van Stone trials in Manitoba. And so that's definitely more close to a 3, but we're comfortable labeling this as a 4 easily. But it's not only the overwintering, it's the oversummering. Here we see the CSU trials. That was August 12th. I took that picture. There's no melting out on those. There are still flowers on some of those. So absolutely amazing landscape performance for these. I still do recommend fall plant on these and overwintering for spring sales. They do perform better, but that picture on the bottom there, the garnet red, that is the first year flowering. That has been in the ground maybe 12 weeks in Washington. And so great performance first year, but I do recommend the standard overwintering production for these. And next would be the Salvia Mirage series. We have a large selection of colors in the Mirage this year. We're adding this blue, a very vibrant blue color, and then the rose bicolor, a unique product there as far as the two-tone flowers. It really is a showstopper. The Mirage have been around for a while. We keep adding great colors to this. And I would say they're arguably, one of the largest sellers as far as any of the Salvia Gregii. No, they're not hardy to the north, but they're fantastic in mixed containers. And so keep that in mind. Great splash of color. Main thing about the Mirage compared to some of the other Gregii is that they do not fade in the summer heat and the bright lights. Personally, I've always been more for the bold colors, so this blue really hits it for me, along with the cherry red and the neon rose. Those have always been my favorites, but a great selection of colors here. I would definitely think about this one. Even if you're a northern grower, I would certainly look at using this as an annual and not necessarily a perennial in your beds if that's an option for you.
All right, thanks, Chris. Off to you, Carl.
Thank you very much, Leland. This is Carl Botchke. I'm the Global Product Manager for Darwin Perennials. And I want to talk to you about a new series of Nepeta that we're launching. The series name is called Whispurr. And there's 2 colors in the series. There's a blue and a pink. And normally we think of these landscape Nepetas as only coming in blue. And a lot of the trends recently have been for super compact Nepeta. So we've been able to buck that trend a little bit with large flowered pink and large flowered blue Nepeta in this Whispurr series. They perform extremely well in the landscape. Think about them as a size compared to something like Walker's Low. So it would be smaller than a Six Hills Giant, but with flowers the size are larger than Six Hills Giant. So you have this really nice well-mounded plant in the garden, about 2 feet tall, just a bit over 2 feet tall, but with huge panicles that sit up on top of the plant. Whispurr also is an excellent repeat bloomer through the course of the summer. So the plants hold up well and they continue to send additional flowers out and just maintain that bloom for a very, very long period of time. This is a great plant. You see it everywhere in the northern gardens. It performs extremely well. About to the center part of the country, I don't normally recommend these Nepeta phacennii as a southern plant. They don't tend to do quite as well in the deep south, but they're an excellent northern plant, zone 4 hardy. And we are testing it for zone 3, but we know it's solid into a zone 4. These are great pollinator plants, very easy to grow. So they can fill out your spring and into summer program in a 1 gallon, 1.5 gallon, and they will work out really well in that area. The next product I want to talk about is a new series of Phlox paniculata. This one is called Super Kapow. You may remember last year we introduced a series called Kapow. Kapow is a compact plant. They work well in a 2.5 gallon, work well in a gallon. And our growers and customers have been telling us, well, that's great, but we'd like to have something that has just a little bit more stature in the container, a little more stature in the landscape. And we just happened to have some outstanding breeding that we had been working on that would fit that profile. So we launched 4 colors this year in the Super Kapow series. And you can see the 4 colors here on the left. They have excellent branching, really 1 pinch in the liner. And you can end up with as many as 4 or 5 shoots that will be flowering in that plant. We're able to actually fill out a 1.5 gallon in a summer program in these Super Kapows with 1 cutting. Although I would say for a late spring program, you might want to consider 3 cuttings per container. I really love the fuchsia. The pink is a very bright, vibrant color. These hold their color in the sun. The petals on the flowers will stay flat. Sometimes Phlox paniculata can have petals that will curl in on themselves, but these were specifically selected for that flat presentation. They have nice full panicles as well. So we're very excited about the Super Kapows. And again, you can kind of see the relative size of the Kapow pink versus the Super Kapow fuchsia on the right there. And speaking of Kapow, we've added a white into the series. So now we have 5 colors. And the white really gives us a great opportunity to make duos and trios. So we found that it was an important color for us to add in. And we're glad that we were able to come up in our breeding with an excellent mildew tolerant variety that fit all the characteristics we were looking for in Kapow, but to give us the white. You may notice just a little bit of a hint of a blush pink in the center of the flower that does seem to be more pronounced under cool night conditions. It tends to go away under normal summer conditions, but I don't think it takes away from the flower. And I think we can agree that the predominant color there is white. I'm super excited to bring to you what I think is one of the greatest breakthroughs in any type of lavender in recent years, and particularly in the category of Spanish lavender. This is a new variety to Darwin perennials called Lavender Primavera. Of course, Primavera means spring, and we normally think of Spanish lavender as being an early spring item. In the south, it tends to be a March into April, and in the north, it tends to be an April into May, maybe early June plant. What we find with Primavera is that it does not require any chill whatsoever in order to flower. Typical Spanish lavender prefer to have some chilling somewhere in the 6 to 8 weeks below 55 degrees to get a good consistent flower set. And that is not the case at all with Lavender Primavera. You can see these were plants that we had out at our cast display video taken a week or so ago, and they just look outstanding. A very, very strong, bold purple color. So we're super excited about this one. The Lavender Primavera story is that this was actually selected by our primary lavender breeder in the Netherlands for super weather tolerance and good shippability. But what he found is, unlike his other lavender in the program, these were flowering in December. That was very unusual, and so he saved the seedling for that reason. And we've found that in North America, this gives us the ability to almost have a year-round program depending on the location that the grower might be in, but certainly for southern programs where you might want to have a lavender in the stores at, say, Valentine's Day, this could work easily for that. And then it's a great season extender. So some of the photos we've taken, these photos taken in July and August, we had excellent trials in the Carolinas last year with great performance. We have plants in the ground right now in Florida that were outstanding in the beginning of March. And we'll just see how well those do and how long they last into the summer. My suspicion is the plants are going to grow fine during the summer and come roaring back into flower as we get a little cooler weather into the fall, but we'll see that and we'll know more about it as we get into those trials. And just one other thing, I wanted to talk about the opportunities. I had mentioned those already, where it might be year-round. You can see those timings, the July 2nd in North Carolina, that was on a 90-degree day, and they'd had a number of 90-degree days and a lot of rain. So these have super good rain tolerance. And we even had some plants in our trials that we brought inside to see how long they would hold up, and they held up surprisingly well. I think we got about 4 weeks as an indoor plant on that lavender on the right. So that was quite exciting to see as well.
That's an amazing new product, Carl. That Primavera really breaking new ground in the lavender. I did want to make a quick call out to Leland's wife, Meredith. She's a nurse down at CDH here in the Chicago suburbs, and to Meredith and all nurses, doctors, and everybody on the front lines dealing with the new coronavirus. Hats off to all of you, and certainly appreciate everything that the medical professionals doing to keep us all safe and help to get us through all this. So after Darwin Perennials, I do want to make an introduction to Jason Twaddell, who's going to introduce us to the new products from Ball Flower Plant and Selecta for 2021. So we'll take it over to Ohio and introduce Jason Twaddell.
Thank you, Jim. Welcome, everybody. Appreciate you guys being on today. We're going to take you through the Ball Flower Plant and the Selecta introductions. We'll start with Ball Flower Plant. But I want to introduce myself as I know some of you, I'm sure, but for those of you that don't know me, I'm the sales and marketing manager for Ball Flower Plant and for Selecta. And we're going to hit the highlights today. We're not going to be able to hit everything. So we do have a lot of other introductions that are not going to be a part of this presentation, but we encourage you to get onto our website, check out those new introductions. And of course, our sample program is actually, we still have cuttings available through week 20. So we could actually send you guys some sample cuttings here in the next few weeks if you want to try some of these products out. So we will start off with a brand new series of Calibrachoa. So it's not often that we get to introduce a new series, but this year we're introducing a new series called Cha-Cha Calibrachoa. And really the main attributes for this series are down at the bottom of the slide. So this is a large, vigorous series. It's uniform. It's got novelty colors for you know, a premium size container and premium positioning in the retail, and they're also early to finish. Here you can see on this slide, this is actually what the display looked like at CAST. Our team in the West Coast, they actually set the displays up. We were at the time, you know, planning to hold the event, and then once it got canceled, we went ahead and set the product up, took some pictures, and actually got some video as well. So this is what you would have seen had you had the chance to go. So let's talk about some of those attributes that I'd mentioned. So Cha-Cha is our most vigorous series. So big vigor, that's a big part of this. About 25% more vigorous than Cabarets. The picture on the bottom there on the left-hand side, you can see our Conga series. That's our most compact Calibrachoa series. So that's Conga White next to Cabaret. Cabarets are kind of the workhorse. That's our medium vigor series. They have obviously more vigor than Conga, but then you can see Cha-Cha on the right-hand side of that picture, about 25% more vigorous, or sometimes maybe even a little bit more vigorous than that, than Cabarets. Really not a quart Calibrachoa, more of a larger container size Calibrachoa is Cha-Cha. And then the pictures on the right-hand side, you can see the new Cha-Cha Frosty Lemon next to Cabaret Bright White, as well as Cha-Cha Diva Apricot next to Cabaret Diva Apricot. And you can really see that big vigor that we're talking about. The next attribute we want to talk about is uniformity. So Cha-Cha is a vigorous series of Calibrachoa, and it is, as far as I could tell, the only uniform series of vigorous calibrachoa out on the market. The picture there in the middle really shows that. That is a picture taken on week 5 in Miami, Florida at Costa. And you can see the uniformity across all of the colors. So all 5 of the colors in the series are there in the bed. And you can see uniformity across them in terms of habit, vigor, as well as flower timing. They're all flowering early and all flowering at the same time. And then that picture on the right-hand side, that's that same bed 5 weeks later, taken obviously from the other angle because the blue, the Cha-Cha Deep Blue is in the front there. But again, you can see how that uniformity has been maintained across all those colors in the bed there at Costa. And then on the left-hand side of the slide, you can see the 5 colors again in a quart pot. But again, you can see that uniformity in the habit. You can see uniformity in the vigor, as well as flower time. They're all in color at the same time. The next attribute that I want to talk about is novelty. We've got some really cool novel colors that haven't been in the calibrachoa assortment for ball floor plan in the past. So this is Cha-Cha Diva Hot Pink. I think this will be the best-selling, most exciting color in the series. But you can really see the different colors within Cha-Cha Diva Hot Pink here on the slide. You've got, you know, a really strong hot pink with the yellow center. You've got more of a hot pink color with a little bit of a white star on the picture on the top. You've got lighter pink, more white on some of those blooms there as well. So we're really excited about our divas, Cha-Cha Diva Hot Pink, and the next one I'll talk about is Cha-Cha Diva Apricot. Those are what we call our color changing varieties. And anytime we give that diva designation, that's really what that means. So here you can see Diva Apricot, that same kind of color attribute where you can see the color changing patterns there. The picture on the top, on the left-hand side, is really the one that I think is most interesting because that is Cha-Cha Diva Apricot in a bed, and you can see how many colors are on one plant. You've got yellows, you've got that apricot, you've got even deeper, almost pink, orangey tones as well. And then on the bottom right-hand side, you can see kind of a yellow star coming out there. So we're really excited about some of these novelty colors that we're bringing to the market with Cha-Cha. And then last, I want to talk about where do you put this product? You know, how do you position it in your assortment, in your retail, or in your production? The picture on the right-hand side there, you can see Tanya Carvalho. Tanya is our territory manager for Ball Floor Plan and Selecta in Canada, and there she's holding a very large basket of Cha-Cha Diva Hot Pink, and that's really where this thing fits, right? We talked about the vigor. We talked about putting them into bigger containers, not into necessarily quart pots. And that's where you want this one to go. Put it into your premium SKU, your largest, highest dollar price point in your biggest containers. And then on the left-hand side, I really wanted to just show how you can mix these products, right? So quite often our premium containers are combinations or mixes. And here you can see Cha-Cha Frosty Lemon, Cha-Cha Diva Apricot, and Cha-Cha Deep Blue mixed together. So that uniformity and vigor, flower timing, habit, all mixing very effectively. So you can, with confidence, mix these 5 colors together to create cool combinations. And then last, I just wanted to talk on PGRs. So we do PGR studies on a regular basis. We do a lot of culture studies. You can find them on our website. We've got a culture tab on our website that provides a lot of good cultural information for our products. But we do PGR testing to look for early sensitivities. We also do that to check for color management or how PGRs might impact the color. And in this case, we checked on our Diva varieties that I just talked about. So on the top is Cha-Cha Diva Apricot. The variety on the bottom is Cha-Cha Diva Hot Pink. And then here you can see different PGR applications. With the bonsai drenches, the 3 middle applications that you can see there, really the color management kind of stays the same. The colors are as we expect. But on the right-hand side, you can see a B9 cyclocell application, and you can see how much the color is actually impacted by that. I'm guessing or estimating that that's the B9 that's making that, bringing out that little bit different color. But in this case, it was a B9 cyclocell tank mix. But you can see on the top, a much more pink flower color coming out with the B9 cyclocell for Diva Apricot. And on the bottom, you have less of the yellow and more of a hot pink coming out with Diva Hot Pink. So have a look out for that. We're going to publish this entire PGR study. We'll put it on our website, and I'm sure we'll send out an email blast out to customers with this cultural information. Okay, next variety we want to talk about is Bumblebee Orange. So the picture in the middle there, that is our new Bumblebee Orange. It'll add a new color to our Bumblebee collection. You guys are probably familiar with Bumblebee Pink, which we introduced several years ago. It's been a really good selling novelty calibrachoa for us. And then on the right-hand side of the slide, you can see Bumblebee Blue. Now we're adding Bumblebee Orange. Gives us really the only orange star on the market. It has an early flowering characteristic, so it's a good product for that earlier market, but also it's ideal for mixing. It's got that habit that shows up well in a mix where the product will be seen all across the entire container or basket. So really excited about a nice new addition to our Bumblebee collection. And then I just wanted to talk real quickly about streamlining our calibrachoa assortment a little bit. So in the past, the Bumblebees that I was just talking about have been part of the Can series. We're actually going to drop the Can series. That name will go away, but we will maintain the Bumblebees as a collection. So we'll still have Bumblebee Blue, Bumblebee Pink, and the new Bumblebee Orange. And we will also keep what was Can Terracotta as a very unique flower color in our calibrachoa assortment. And terracotta is also an important part of one of our mix masters, Santa Fe Sunset. So we will make sure that stays in the assortment. But that Can series name will be dropped, as well as the 3 of the colors that were in that assortment. Okay, this one is a product I am super excited about. I think this is going to be one of our, if not our biggest launch in 2021. It'll be certainly one of our biggest. And that's this Bee's Knees Petunia. So if you've seen this one in your sample program, if you've got some cuttings in or liners in your sample program, you probably already noticed it. As it flowers, it catches the eye. I think I get an email or a text message or a phone call almost every day right now as growers are starting to see this product flowering in their greenhouse. But this is the most saturated yellow that I've seen on any vegetative petunia. It's got a great medium habit, medium vigor and mounded habit. And it's a really good garden performance product. And we'll take you through some of the documentation of that here. But first, let's look at a video. So this is the Bee's Knees display as we set it up in Santa Paula at CAST. And I probably shouldn't even be talking. I should just let you look at it because I don't know that it needs a whole lot of audio on top of it. But look how deep that saturated color is. Look at the habit, how it fits in a hanging basket. Look how dark green those leaves are. We're really excited about this product. I think this is a game changer in vegetative petunias, especially in the yellow class. Here, as we zoom into, you can see Bee's Knees on the left versus what we consider a yellow vegetative petunia on the right. Here you can see it kind of zoomed in there. So we're totally rewriting the script on yellow vegetative petunias. That old yellow color, that's gone. We bring in this nice deep saturated Bee's Knees. Okay, so I talked about some of the attributes. Really, the saturated color is the first thing that catches your eye. I already showed it to you in the video, and you can see it here in these pictures. We've lined up some of the genetics that are out there in the marketplace on the bottom there, and you can see Bee's Knees, how much it stands out, how different it is, and how saturated that color is. The next attribute I want to talk about is the habit. So you can really see how well branched this product is, how that mounding, spreading, starting to trail habit works in a hanging basket. So the picture on the left-hand side really shows how good this product is in a basket. But we've got a medium vigor, easy to control habit that can work in smaller containers all the way up into larger containers. So I don't think we want to necessarily just put it into baskets because it's got a high level of utility. And it's such a good product, we want to be able to use it in different applications. So really a good product though, that wheelhouse I think is going to be that hanging basket and that combination. And then let's talk about garden performance. So Bee's Knees is a terrific performer. When you see it in the heat of the summer, when you see it out in the landscape or in containers, it really holds up well and performs for the end user and the consumer. These pictures here, I wanted to just kind of illustrate from some different locations where we've seen this product. In the middle at the top, you see Miami, Florida. This was earlier, well, I was going to say earlier this month, but it's April, so it was about a month ago. but this product is in the bed there. You can see that nice mounded habit, holding that deep saturated color, even in that the heat and humidity in South Florida. On the bottom there in the middle, you can see in Ontario. So in Canada, as those nights are starting to cool down, you can see how that saturated color really comes out. And we're starting to see that this spring as growers are sending me pictures and sales reps are sending me pictures that deep saturated yellow color is really coming out in the cooler temperatures. And then the two pictures on the outside are from Elburn, Illinois, which not far from the Ball headquarters there in West Chicago. And I really just wanted to show how well this product holds up in the heat and humidity of the Midwest. So in July in Elburn in a container, holding up extremely well, full complement of blooms all over that plant. And then in ground in the bed there on August 23rd on the right-hand side, you can see how well it's holding up in the landscape. So just a terrific product. Super excited about this one. This is the bee's knees of yellow petunias. Okay, next up, I'm going to talk about Bidens, which quite often isn't a variety or a genus that we get super excited about, but I really think our new Sundrop Double Bidens is a game changer. And the reason for that is that flower size, which we tried to illustrate here in the slide. That picture in the middle shows the competing double flowered Bidens that are on the market currently, and those are surrounding the new Sundrop Double Bidens in the middle there. So you can see how much bigger that bloom is than the competition. And that's really what this is all about. We've got a Sundrop Double, which is more of a medium vigor, and we're also going to introduce Sundrop Double Compact. So if you're familiar with Ball Flora Plants Bidens, we have a Sundrop single flowered variety now and a Sundrop Compact, and this will fit alongside those in terms of how you use them. So if you're comfortable and you know how to use the current Sundrops, we'll use the new Double Bidens in that same way. And then last, just want to touch on Mixmasters. So every year we introduce new Mixmasters. We upgrade some of our Mixmasters as well. And this year we've got 5 new introductions in our Mixmaster lineup. At the top there, you can see Pico de Gallo and Hot Rod. Both of those are mixes where we have our flamethrower coleus as part of the assortment. Pico de Gallo is actually a 3 coleus mix. So we already have several 3 coleus flamethrower mixes, but this is that high utility mix, super easy for you guys to use as a grower and produce. But it gives the consumer a shade or sun option, very easy to produce product that has a high utility. And then Hot Rod is a new mix. For the first time, we've actually incorporated our flamethrower coleus in with other genus. So in this picture, we've got flamethrower chili pepper in with Cabaret Red and Cabaret Bright White. And then the 3 new mixes on the bottom are really what I think are the biggest differentiators in our new Mixmasters. Bide My Time on the left, that incorporates our new Be Happy Red. So that red, yellow, red, orange bicolor Bidens. We haven't had those in Mixmasters before, so that's new for us. In the middle, we have Gold Plated, which is a nice addition to our season extender Mixmasters, where we've got a Scavola, Lantana, and an Angelonia. That's a great product for that end of spring, summertime, but also really good for the consumer, right? It's the kind of product that could skip a watering and still be in good shape for the consumer, holding up well in the heat of the summer. And then my personal favorite is Kiss Me Goodnight. So I'm really excited about Kiss Me Goodnight as a new mix. We're incorporating our Cabaret Goodnight Kiss, which was new last year in 2020, or I guess that's this year. But we were talking about it last year as a new introduction. But it has become one of our best-selling cabarets. That bicolor with the star pattern novelty is really a good product that we wanted to incorporate into mixes. And with our Sundrop Bidens and Firehouse Purple, makes a really nice color combination that we haven't had. So as with all of our Ball Flora Plant products, check ballfloraplant.com. Our new intros are already loaded on there. Reach out to your ball seed sales rep or your Ball Flora Plant territory manager for more information. And as I said, we still have some sample program product available for the next several weeks, so you can bring in cuttings and continue to sample this product and check it out before next year.
Yeah, Jason, I hope we have some of that bee's knees out there.
We do. I just checked availability. We've got some.
All right. Yeah, I think you'll have a run on that one. Say a quick question on mixes with the bee's knees. Do you have that one coming available in a mix past, or any recommended mixes for the bee's knees yellow petunia?
Yeah, so good question. We're working on mixes on that. For sure, we want to incorporate that into the Mixmaster program. We won't have any for the 2021 assortment season, but it's a medium vigor, really well-branched product. I think it's going to fit with medium vigor products. So Firehouse Verbena, Cabaret, Calibracoa, that'd be a good starting point.
Yeah, we're getting a lot of use on the Q&A function here. So thanks everyone for using the Q&A. And Jason, you're going to continue right into the Selecta lineup.
Yeah, we'll jump right into Selecta. All right, so same thing on Selecta as we did with Vol Flora Plant. We're only going to hit the highlights. Unfortunately, we don't have time to hit everything. The highlights are really our biggest priority products, but we want to encourage you guys to check out all the new introductions from Selecta for 2021. So let's jump right in. For us, the biggest introduction, the highest priority is our new Sky Petunias. So I'm sure you guys are familiar with Night Sky. Night Sky has been on the market for, geez, probably 5 years now. It is our best-selling petunia in the Selecta Petunia assortment, and it is the original. It's the original Sky Petunia. We've added Pink Sky, we've added Starry Sky Burgundy to the headliners, but now we're adding Headliner Crystal Sky and Headliner Electric Purple Sky. So you can see those two on the outsides here. We're very excited to add these to the headliner assortment. The headliners are our medium vigor, mounding habit. That's really kind of the workhorse of our petunia series. But we're also, for the first time, and we're very excited about this, we're adding a Sky Petunia to another series outside of headliners. So in the middle there, you'll see Main Stage Glacier Sky. And this is going into the Main Stage series. Our Main Stage is our most vigorous trailing habit vegetative petunia. So it's bigger vigor. It's more of that trailing habit than a headliner. But this is a really cool color pattern. So it's very similar in look to Night Sky, but you have that white rim around. So it's that Picotee look. So it's very, very cool, very big flower, and actually has a nice fragrance too. So we're excited to add that in. 3 new Sky Petunias, and I have a video here to kind of show what the display would look like, right? So we set up the display in Santa Paula. You can see Night Sky in the background there at the top, as well as our 2 new introductions here. Starry Sky Burgundy there on the right-hand side, or I'm sorry, left-hand side. So here's kind of a zoom in on Headliner Crystal Sky. Nice lavender vein petunia look. Really good habit. Matches up very well with Night Sky in terms of its habit. So good for a hanging basket. But it's that lavender vein with those Sky, that Sky Petunia spotting that we're obviously familiar with. So you can see the whole Sky family, the Sky Petunia assortment as it works perfectly in hanging baskets, that medium vigor mounded spreading habit. And then here we zoom into Electric Purple Sky. We're very excited about this one. It adds that really cool electric purple color, but with that sky pattern, very similar to Night Sky, and a habit that works, again, good for hanging baskets. Both the Electric Purple and the Crystal Sky are relatively early to flower products as well, so should be able to use it for early season as well as late. Okay, then real quick, just I want to touch on social media. Sky Petunias have been something of a sensation on social media. There's a ton of interest and excitement around them, and really these products are perfect for snapping pictures and posting. So, we encourage you guys to get onto our social media websites, get on and post, about Night Sky, hashtag Night Sky Petunia, or hashtag Sky Petunias, and just keep that momentum going, that excitement around our Sky Petunias. Really the kind of the core and the heart of our headliner petunias. And then last, I'll touch on culture. So we've done a lot of culture studies on our website. We've got PGR culture study that we did on Night Sky. We did a lot of work on that because we understood some of the sensitivities to the color management as you use different PGRs. And we've expanded that culture research, and we're doing it across all the Sky Petunia colors now. And we'll post all of this on the website, and we'll actually be able to send this out to you guys in in a bit of an email blast where we've got the entire culture research once we get it all documented and put together. But I wanted to share this just so you guys know we're really working on what are the best practices from a PGR standpoint. Here in this slide, you've got kind of a grid of all of the sky petunias. They're lined up across the slide there with the different PGR applications going vertically across there. So the bottom line here is in the middle, you've got B9 and B9 cyclocell applications. You can see pretty good control, but also pretty good delay. And when you look at some of the colors, that B9 really impacts the coloration, especially on night sky and glacier sky seem to be the two that have the biggest impact with B9. So for us, our recommendation is to stick with paclobutrazole or bonsai drenches as the best overall treatment for PGR treatment for these sky petunias. And again, we'll get all this published for you guys as we go into to the next growing season. Okay, so next up, I want to hit on Giselle Phlox. The Giselle Phlox series has been on the market for several years now. I think we're in our third or fourth year. We've had 5 colors in this series in 2020, but as we go into the 2021 season, we're going to add some really important new colors. We have not had some of the most important colors in this class, like red. So adding a red, a scarlet, we're also adding purple and light pink plus I into the assortment in 2021. So that's really going to help us round out the color class, the color range. But let's just talk about what Giselle Phlox is. So Giselle Phlox is a vegetative phlox series that was bred and selected really for high usability and high efficacy for the grower in propagation and in finished production. It's a good production plant, very good mounded, well-branched product, early to flower. But it fits nicely in a hanging basket, fits nicely in patio containers, can work in a court. So this is a really a good product that I think is underutilized right now. You can see on the right-hand side of this display, on the slide, that was the display at CAST as we were setting it up. And we really wanted to illustrate this product can be used in the ground, in beds, it can be used in hanging baskets, it can be used in smaller containers. So we're very excited about adding these new colors to the Giselle Phlox series. So let's talk a little bit about some other ways we can use it. Giselle is really good in combinations or in hanging baskets. It could be a good component in a combination because, as I mentioned, it's got earliness to flower. That makes it a good product for smaller container size because you can get color on it. But that more controlled habit is really good in a mix where it won't take over, and it can be a good component that way. Also, excellent heat performance. So think about this Giselle Phlox as an opportunity to have a season extending late spring, summer hanging basket type of an item. On the slide here on the right hand side, you can see the new light pink plus I. That was at Costa Miami on week 10. You can see how well that product's thriving in the heat. And then on the right hand side, we've got Giselle Phlox. I believe that's the hot pink with one of our helichrysum there, kind of sticking out in a combination. And then the last thing on Giselle Phlox is because, as I mentioned, that controlled habit and that earliness to flower, I think this is a great product for like a premium 6-pack. This is an item that you could put into a 6-pack like that, and it gives the consumer something they can put into a ground or put into a container that is something that'll work for them. It can handle the heat and humidity of the summer, but it can be a low maintenance item because it's, you don't have to deadhead it. Those flowers kind of cover themselves up. Any dead flowers really quickly get covered up by new ones. So really a good product that I think is underutilized in the market. And now that we've got these new colors, we're really excited about expanding that one. Okay, next up, let's talk about dahlias. Our Dahlia series of dahlias is kind of our workhorse. It's really that medium vigor, 2.5 quart or 1 gallon type container size. Works great in patio containers. Our Dahlia series is really about garden performance. It's about performance for the grower and for the consumer. But we're adding a Dahlia raspberry as well as Dahlia fireball in 2021. And the raspberry gives us that, it's in that sort of that red color class, but it is a kind of a berry tone. It's not truly a red, but it's a very cool color. And it fits perfectly into the Dahlia series. Again, that garden performance expectation that we have. We've selected these for high high powdery mildew resistance, well-branched products that work good in the garden. And then let's talk a little bit about Delia Fireball. So Fireball is the first time we've actually introduced an anemone flower form into the Delia series. So we're excited about that. Very cool bicolor. It really stands out when you see it. It's got that novelty premium look to it, but also still has that great garden performance that we expect from our Delia series. And then one cool thing that we've realized is that as the flowers kind of shatter or those large red petals fall off, the center stays intact and actually still continues to offer a pretty cool bit of ornamental value there. So we're very excited about our new Fireball as well as Raspberry as we add to our Delia lineup. And then last, I want to touch on some new Trixies. So just like the ball floor plant assortment, we're always adding to our mix masters and our Trixies or our multi-liner combos. And this year in Trixies, I'm very excited that we've started to incorporate some of our sky petunias into our Trixie assortment. So on the top there, you can see Trixie Chemical Attraction. This one is an addition to the lineup where we've added Electric Purple Sky. So Electric Purple Sky is new in the Headliner series. It's also coming into Trixies with a white calibrachoa as well as a Magadi lobelia in that mix. And then on the upper right-hand side, we've got Trixie Lip Sync. Lip Sync is new and it's very cool in terms of its color combination. We have not had this color combo really in the Trixie assortment in the past. So that hot pink of our Headliner lipstick petunia, along with yellow calibrachoa and a blue Magadi, gives us a really cool, exciting new color combination. And then on the bottom there, you can see Trixie Sky's the Limit. And Sky's the Limit is really, I think, an exciting introduction because for the first time we've brought Night Sky into the Trixie assortment. And in this case, we brought it in with 2 other Headliner petunias. So for you as the grower, this is an easy mix to put together and grow. You get a premium look with the 3 different colors as well as with the Night Sky. But this is going to be a pretty easy one for you to produce. So in this case, we've got Headliner Sky Blue and Headliner White along with Headliner Night Sky. And then 2 other additions to our Trixie lineup. We've added Trixie 2 to Tango as well as Double Take. And these 2 are, they're part of our, what we're calling our Fantastic Trixies or our Tastics. Our Tastic Trixies, Tastic Baskets. We're kind of using that name, that Tastic name quite a bit in any of our mixes that have our Tastic calibrachoa. And our Tastics are, that's the name we're using with our bicolored Mini Famous double calibrachoas. So on the top, 2 to Tango and Double Take both have the Uno double pink Tastic. And then on the bottom, Double the Heat and on the double, those were introductions in 2020. And as a sort of a collection, if you combine those, you've got some very easy to produce mixes with a novelty premium look to them because of that double bicolor. So we're kind of labeling these as the Fantastic Trixies with our Tastic double calibrachoas. So those are our top intros for Selecta. If there's no questions, Jim, I can get on and answer anything that's in the Q&A.
Yeah, that's perfect, Jason. Yeah, check the Q&A. I'm sure on those Night Skies, you'll get some questions for sure. And we'll be transitioning right over to Kelsey Minalga on the Ball Ingenuity lineup. She has a couple exciting new products to show. And one I'm sure will get your attention is a tea plant, because it's not something that, I don't think we've ever had a spring trials where we introduced a tea plant. So there's a first time for everything. So we'll transition over to that now. And let's see what we can learn about this little brew tea full tea plant.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Jim, for the introduction. As he said, I'm Kelsey Minalga. I'm a product manager for Ball Ingenuity. And a lot of people don't know what Ball Ingenuity means. It means that we are exclusive through our Ball Seed sales rep. So if you want to buy any of our products, you have to contact one of your sales reps. So I'm going to just touch again on the top kind of 3 items that we were going to show at CAST this year. We have the Camellia sinensis Brew Tea Full, the Morel Cyclamen Metallus series, gorgeous silver foliage, and the Philodendron Shangri-La. Let's get this guy going. If it wants to, continue. we'll go back one. There we go. So what is, and we're just jumping all around. Let me see here. So I'll just keep talking. What is Brutiful? So I actually have the plant here, lucky enough to do that. It is a Camellia sinensis tea plant. A lot of people are familiar with a coffee plant, but this is one that you can have in your home. As Josh Kirschenbaum said, everybody's kind of looking for an edible. This is an edible that you can make your own tea from. You can make 5 different types of tea. You can make a green tea, a black tea, an oolong tea, a tea from the flower, or a white tea. I personally have made the green tea myself. I'm a green tea drinker, and it is very, very delicious tea. It's the highest in antioxidants as well. It is zone 7 hardy, and you can actually grow it in the full sun. That's one thing that makes us differentiate from a lot of other Camellia sinensis on the market. They're all sort of a part shade. This is a full sun, so it works perfect as like a patio citrus plant. Move forward. This thing does not like me today. There we go. So a lot of people are very familiar with how to grow an annual or a perennial, so they're kind of scared off about the, yep, see, this thing does not like me. They're kind of scared off about how to grow a Camellia sinensis. Well, don't be. It's very, very easy. You want to keep a well-drained soil. You want to make sure that you don't bury the crown. And you want to just treat it as, I guess, any typical annual, truthfully, because it doesn't get the diseases. It does not seem to get the pests. I've had one growing here myself out in my personal home, brought it inside. I had other houseplants that got the pests. This one did not. You do want to put an Osmocote slow release fertilizer of an 18-7-12 treatment for a once a year treatment, and then again, refresh that again. Pruning is necessary though to have a very well branched plant. So as this, because you don't just kind of want a stick growing up on your leaves, you can't harvest that as well. That is the Camellia sinensis. It is kind of a slower crop here. You're going to see that it takes about 10 to 11 months from a liner. It takes, and then an additional 8 to 9 months from the liner to a 4-inch pot. There we go. Cyclamen Metallis series. Now this is a beautiful cyclamen series. As you can see, the gorgeous silver foliage really makes it stand out from other cyclamens on the market. You do have the rose, the magenta, the bright purple, which is my personal favorite, the red, the white, and the salmon. And you can also get this mix. This is a mix. The white has been tested to be a wonderful landscape item, especially for places like Florida or Las Vegas, sort of where it's warmer for the winter. So kind of mixes it up a little bit. You can put a combination of a red or white for Christmas time. It's great to put out in the market if you have a floral shop or something as a Valentine's Day thing with the heart shape on the leaf. And sorry, selected with the poinsettias, but it is also a really great item to sell for Christmas. And actually for April right now is the best time to book if you want it to be in your Christmas program. This gives you a little bit of information of kind of where you can get it and sowing crop times. The crop times is sort of one thing that everybody has a major misconception with, is that it actually is a slower crop. It takes about 30 to 32 weeks from sowing to bloom. So you need to, like I said, book now for before April's over if you would like for your Christmas programs. And then the next one is the Philodendron Shangri-La. This is a very, very exciting program, especially for all the houseplant consumers right now. It is like your other kind of split leaf philodendrons, except for this one is a nice, gorgeous, compact habit. It does not vine, it does not trail, it stays nice and clumped. I personally have one growing. It is a great, great desk item. That's what I have actually for is on my desk. But it's great for in the landscape, outdoors, patio plants, but it won't take over and get massive. And this one is, again, going to be a 2021 introduction. So make sure you check out everything from our website, ballingenuity.com, and talk to your ball seed sales rep.
All right, thank you, Kelsey. There's always some interesting things in that Ball Ingenuity lineup. You never
always
quite know
have the wild, weird, wonderful.
Yeah, the silverleaf cyclamen's beautiful. Very nice. Yeah. Thanks for taking us through those. We're going to transition now over to our Burpee product line, Burpee Home Gardens, with Jason Force and Tiffany Heater. And I think Tiffany's going to kick it off from New Jersey.
Hey everybody, Tiffany Heater here from sort of sunny New Jersey today. I am the retail business manager at Burpee, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the marketing elements that are new for next year with Burpee. And then Jason Force is going to take us through new products. First off, this year we have a new tagline, and that is Choose, Grow, Enjoy, that you saw on the last slide. Our most exciting news that we have for next year is that we have refreshed our tags and some of our POP. So if you take a look here, we have done away with the tag color collections that we created, and we have refreshed that look, and we are color coding by class as our growers and retailers have requested. So going forward, tomato tags will all be red, herbs will all be blue, organic will be green, hot peppers purple, sweet peppers orange. The tags have a slightly different look to them now, this kind of curved shape at the top, and that's because we've changed vendors. So we will no longer be using Master Tag, but all Burpee tags will be coming from Westrock. You may know them as also the John Henry Company or Multi-Packaging Solutions. We will have 3 tag sizes. We have the mini portrait tag that you can see there that's blue with basil on it. And that's about the same size as our current small standard tag. But with this change to Westrock, there will be a 2-cent reduction in price per tag on that tag size. We will also have the portrait tag that you see there, which is great for patio items. And then we have the new large nursery tag that you can see there on the far right-hand side of the screen. That comes with a string and is ideal for hanging baskets or tying onto a caged vegetable. And then here is on this next slide, this highlights some of our POP. We'll still have most of the POP that we've offered in the past. It will still be free except for the shipping. And then we've created 3 new pieces here on the bottom left. The first one is a key or legend to the different tag colors to help you find what you're looking for in the garden center. And then the next 2 slides, the next 2 final banners here answer questions that most consumers have when they're shopping for tomatoes or peppers. So the first one is called Tomatoes for Any Occasion, and it highlights our top selling slicers, paste tomatoes, and small fruit. And then the next one, Peppers for Any Palate, answers the question that any pepper shopper is asking. Is it hot or is it not? Well, here you have listed our top selling hot peppers and then our top selling sweet peppers as well. And then also on the hot pepper list, each pepper has 1 to 4 flames to kind of identify a scale of heat when you're shopping there. The overarching theme that we're trying to show here is that, you know, we've listened to our growers, we've listened to our retailers, and we're trying to make merchandising easier for retailers and also make shopping easier for consumers. So this kind of refreshed look with the tag colors by class is going to make shopping in the garden center and make it have a nice, you know, fresher, cleaner look. And with that, I'm going to turn things over to Jason Force, who's going to talk about new varieties.
Thanks, Tiffany. Hi, everybody. I know everyone's wanting to finish this up and get to that first glass of wine or beer, so I'll make this quick. Just to remind everybody, Burpee Home Garden is all about taste and performance. We look for those new trends and unique items that consumers want. All our varieties are tested to make sure that they perform to the highest standards your customers expect. So we have some very exciting items for 2021, so let's get started. So our first one is cabbage sweet slaw. Now, I love a good coleslaw, but you know, in order to get that good coleslaw, you got to start with a good cabbage. You ever have that bitter coleslaw at a restaurant? Probably because it was a bad cabbage. So start with a good cabbage. You're going to end up with a good slaw. I don't care how much slaw dressing you put on it. If you start with a bad cabbage, you're going to get bad slaw. So what I like about this is its unique cone shape. It's quick to fruit, and it's got a short core. Definitely a sweet flavor. And because it doesn't bolt fast, it's going to allow for a longest harvest time. So definitely give it a try. Next is sweet fang cabbage. So this is really unique. This is a non-heading cabbage. I never heard of this before. So we're very excited to add this to our assortment. I like this for a couple of reasons. One is, honestly, I'm not a fan of collards and kale. They seem to be bitter to me. If you try to cook with them, you got to cut the veins out, and it's a lot of work. So what's great about this is you don't have to cut the veins out. So it's got dark green leaves, white veins. The veins are sweet, so you can use the whole thing. And definitely, I think tastes much better than kale or collard. So definitely, you got to give this one a try. So next is definitely our headliner. So Pepper Armageddon is a F1 hybrid hot chili pepper. So hot peppers right now are all the rage. You know, we carry Trinidad Scorpion, we carry the ghost pepper. The problem there is they're open pollinated, they take longer. Usually you get enough fruit because, I mean, how many are you gonna eat in a season? But that being said, this is 2 to 3 weeks earlier, and you're gonna get a lot more fruit. Now, honestly, I never tasted one, and I'm not about to, but I definitely heard from good sources this has got great flavor. It's definitely hot, similar to Carolina Reaper at 1.3 million Scovilles. And definitely if you're into hot peppers, this is the one to grow because it's gonna be faster and you're gonna get a lot more peppers. So we're gonna go from hot to not. So we have a new jalapeno pepper called Sweet Poppers. This is a sweet jalapeno. You know, last year we introduced habanero roulette, which was a sweet habanero, and we're following it up this year with a sweet jalapeno. I'm a wimp when it comes to hot peppers, so I am excited about this. Now I can make my own nachos. I can make my own poppers. It's fairly quick to fruit. You're going to get a ton of fruit, and you're going to get all the flavor without the heat. So as much as the really hot peppers are a trend, these sweet peppers that are used in cooking, or these hot peppers that are used in cooking that are now sweet, are definitely also going to become a trend. And then finally, we added a new tomato to our Boost collection. You know, a few years ago, we introduced Tasty Lee, which is a nice slicer to our Boost program. This is Tasty Wee, which is a grape tomato. It's full of flavor, and the best part is it's got 40% more lycopene. So lycopene definitely helps protect against cell damage. This is a manageable indeterminate. You are going to need to stake it. Fairly quick to harvest. You're going to get a ton of fruit. It tastes great. So this is definitely one that you should add to your program for next season. So definitely give it a try. And I just want to hand it back to Tiffany.
Thanks, Jason. So as you can see, we have a lot of exciting new varieties coming out for next year. And, you know, the switch from Master Tag to West Rock is going to make things look a lot nicer in the garden center. It's going to save growers money. It's going to make shopping easier. And then one other thing with West Rock is if you have a variety that is not in our Burpee program, that's a regional favorite that, you know, fits the Burpee brand messaging, and it's something you need to have, it's a lot easier to make custom tags now than it was previously with our former vendor. So any questions, just, you know, reach out to Jason or I, and we look forward to working with you in the coming season. Happy spring.
Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you, Jason. Yeah, that was great. Thanks for walking us through those new varieties from Burpee Home Gardens. And one of my favorite things about the spring trials is how it brings together people and products. And so I thank all of our presenters for virtually bringing us together. Thanks to the Ball Publishing team, to Chris Beatties and his team. Special thanks to Katie Rotella for all the work she did on putting the videos together. Special thanks to our video crew out in California before the stay-in-place order came in, Susanna Ball and Chris Carlson, and some of the team out there, Jason Jandrew, some of the folks that actually live on the West Coast were able to get down And during the time of our setup for the regular cast, we're able to capture this video and the photography that we used in today's simulcast. Big thanks to our growers too, the growers at the sites, Mary Carroll down in Santa Paula, and the team up in Arroyo Grande, and those that were involved in growing the plants and getting them up to the size, bringing those genetics to life, making them look beautiful for the pictures and for the videos. Thanks to our marketing team too, the product marketing managers, Sakara Gouch on Ball Floor Plant, Claire on Pan Am, and to Kevin on Darwin Perennial side, and Debbie Rempert on the Ball Seed side. So, and their leaders, Tim Duffin, and he was really a big part of behind the scenes, pulling all this together to bring it to you, our audience. And a special thanks to all of you for joining. And I do wish you and your families the very best in these circumstances, for your well-being, for your families, for your businesses. We wish you all the best in the spring of 2020. Thanks for joining our simulcast, and have a great evening. Bye-bye.